The other day, about 3 days ago, Glennon Cameron, who is a popular black YouTuber in the finance realm, he made a video called Why I Refuse to Live in the Hood. Bad environments produce bad outcomes. I'll put that video pinned to the top so you guys can go and subscribe, hit the bell on his channel. And I was watching that video. I didn't get the chance to watch all of it. But I told him that I wanted to respond to what I saw and what I feel to be very true. But I'd like to add a little bit more to the topic based off my limited experience living outside of black neighborhoods or the black community, or now in Europe. I spent some time in Africa. You know, a lot of people think that black America is all about the hood. Okay? And shout out to Erica Williams. Black America is very unique in just like any other place. You have your upper class people, you have your upper middle class people, you have your middle class, your lower elite and ghetto, right? And people like Erica Williams, who grew up in a upper class or elite neighborhood, they don't know some of the struggles that other black people have. Now, they may have relatives who understand that struggle, but they have never experienced those things themselves. You know, some people don't know nothing about government cheese or roaches or gunshots you got to duck in. You know, you go down the street and you got a car in front of you and a car on the other side, and they just sit in the middle of the street talking while you trying to, you know, wait for them to move their car and loud music. Everybody don't experience that in black America. But when you hear somebody talks about why I'm not coming back to the hood, now you're talking about new money in black America. You're talking about people who come from the ghetto or from lower middle class black America, and they come into middle class black America. Now, there are many ways that they do that. That could be through academics. It could be through entrepreneurship. It could be through the military. But typically, when they grow up in lower income black America, these places that they grow up have very few opportunities. And the people that they live around have made less than stellar results for themselves. And so these people have used their talents, they've used their know-how, their determination to get out of such situations, okay? And once they get out of certain situations, let's say that's college or that's certain levels of workforce, but let's just say college. When you get to college, especially if it's a predominantly white institution, things change in many cases from those blacks that come in coming from lower class black America. They're experiencing new things. They're taking a rigorous course load. They're meeting new friends. They're elevating themselves academically in places that they've never thought they can go. Especially for those people who come to professional school, whether that be dentistry, law, veterinary, medical school. Okay? You are around a bunch of people who are motivated just like you from all levels of society. In other words, you're not just competing against people in the hood. You're competing against people all over. And some people fall short. We all know people who go to college and then after the first year they get homesick, they fall back, come back to the hood, amount to nothing. But those people who make it because they raise their game to another level. Because to go to college at a PWI, especially in certain situations where you're pre-law, pre-med, or whatever, you got to compete. Because that college degree is a ticket to the next degree. Whether it's an MBA, whether it's a Master of Science, whatever it is, you have to perform. And now you're waking up for classes at 6 in the morning. You might have to have that class to graduate. Now you're having to do projects. And once you start to see yourself elevating, you're doing internships in the summer, you're doing all these things. Your life is slowly getting exposed to something that you've never experienced. All right? And for many black Americans that come from the lower income to the higher income, or come from the lower class to now some of these other opportunities, They have now adapted to this new way of life. They have new friends, okay? Their life is going on a tangent. And also the work ethic with these new people that they come across, whether it's white America or Chinese America, they're elevating to such a level that it's competitive. They're learning how to compete. Now let me talk about what happens when they go home for the summer. When they go home from the summer or visit home, they get back into a negative connotation, depressing. Man, I can't wait to get out of here. Dilapidated buildings, sometimes dilapidated family members, all right? People who don't know anything about your experience, what it takes to make it in life. They don't know. And being around those people for so long draws you back in. So they have to move out. They have to get away. And they have to go to what they think is the greater society. Now, let me talk about people who look at such people, because you have those folks who come from Black America and they go other places. People always ask why they don't go back. They need to come back and build for the Black community. You know, you should come back and bring your skill sets back here and work with us. But the problem is the people who are saying you need to come back have never experienced that type of competitiveness. And that is why they are still there in the hood asking for people to come back. This is the problem that we have. This is the division that we have. Because the people who have worked hard to get out of the ghetto have done so they can never come back. And the people typically asking folks to come back and build for the community want to get out and can't get out. And now you have this sort of fine line of the people who know what it takes to leave and want to be in a healthier environment, want to be around people who are more competitive, knowing that they don't have anything in common with mama anymore. You might not have that much in common with little Pookie, little Charles, Big Charles. Those people ain't your friends no more. They can't be your friends. Not like that. Because they can't help, they are not conducive to your new lifestyle. And then you have people who have not experienced that sort of growth talking about you a cool, you need to come back and do this and do that. Let me tell you something. If you've never been down the academic road of what it takes to make it to professional school, what it takes to make it to law school, dental school, you will never know what people experience to come out of inner city ghettos going someplace. You just won't. You won't know. Then ask them to come back and deal with people who may or may not accept what you're talking about. It's also another challenge. Because, see, to a lot of the educated blacks, they know what it's like dealing with people in the ghetto. They've seen people before come back and try to help and have little to no success. They've seen it all the time. And this is the fine line. And you have to understand that once you get to a certain level in academia or professionalism, you have to be around people like you in order to make it. That's the sad part. And the balance for anybody who is a person with a pro-black mentality, person such as myself, is how do I balance growing, meeting friends that can help me do stuff, while at the same time looking out for people who need opportunities that I can try to pull up. Now, everybody don't think like me, right? But a lot of people are stuck in a sort of success guilt type of way. I'm not successful as I want to be, but I'm just giving my own thinking to it. And the thing about it is, going back to places that are lower income, the competition is not there. People who compete at a high level need competition. You need to be around people who are always doing better to grow. You're stuck there. You have to have it there to make it. And when you want to have that, you cannot bring it back to a place that is not so competitive and try to, because you're going to become them before they become you. Top performers are top performers because They want to compete with other top performing people. Top performing people don't come down to people who don't perform and maintain that. Let me give you an example. I was talking to this guy named Joe Bellins. You can Google, you can YouTube him right here on YouTube. He lives in Uganda. White Jewish guy. He's from California, went to Stanford. He was the CEO of the Genome Project. And we were sitting back talking about some things. And he said, you know what, man, my efficiency since I've been to Uganda is about 1/10 of what it was in the United States. And I found that to be so interesting because I saw my efficiency decreasing as I was there too, right? And what happens, what you know, in my opinion, you have a guy that went to Stanford that moved to a place, and I'm not saying that people are not as smart there, right? But when you're in the tech market of Silicon Valley, where everybody is competitive, everybody's trying to do things. You're around some of the most engineered great minds of the day. Every day, this, you know, just boom, 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 kicking ideas. He lost a lot of himself, I believe, in the lack of competition. And it made him less efficient because he adapted to the environment. And that typically is what happens when you're a very bright person and you get around people who are not as motivated as you, you become them. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of professional blacks don't want to come back to the hood and do anything, because you're going to become them before they become you. And this is one of the reasons why people don't want to return back to where they come from. Not on a full-time basis, at least. So this is just my thing, man. I'm not trying to diss anybody, but that's just what I see as an outsider looking in. What do you guys think, brothers? Like, let me know. Also, Ron Wills got a video called Free Brothers. Man, spilled my coffee. Free Brothers and Free Donuts, right? And make sure you guys go subscribe to it's right there on Patreon, the beginning of the first link. Make sure you do that. Check that out. It's $5 a month if you want to watch that video. But again, we have so many videos on Patreon. It's specifically for the Negro Manosphere. So check it out. It's pinned to the first comment. Check out Glennon's video. And as you guys know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.